The commentators were the most like pro Aces commentators ever.
Once that little thing says live on air, you're supposed to be unbiased, announcing all that we and this and that. No.
There are storylines every week, controversy, drama. When Caitlin Clark is not playing, the biggest story in the WNBA is generous fans donating dildos.
Becky Hammon went off on Kathy Engelbert for the lack of good officials in this league.
It don't take 10 weeks to get over a groin injury. Then we find out it ain't the groin as of yesterday.
2 minutes ago, ESPN just dropped a bombshell firing major commentators accused of humiliating Caitlin Clark. Fans are calling it the wildest move of the playoffs.
When Caitlin Clark is playing, the WNBA is a major topic in the mainstream media. There are storylines every week, controversy, drama. When Caitlin Clark is not playing, the biggest story in the WNBA is generous fans donating dildos.
The commentators covering the Feververses. Aces games were described as extremely biased, openly supporting Las Vegas instead of staying neutral. At one point, a commentator even referred to the Aces as "we," which immediately raised red flags among Fever fans who felt disrespected and humiliated.
Like, it was the most pro Aces people you will ever see that were commentating on the Fever versus Aces games 1 and 2. They were so pro Vegas. They were absolutely not in any way neutral. I'm pretty sure I heard a commentator refer to Vegas as "we," but that's just kind of the thing. It is what it is. That is what it is. Like, it is the old WNBA is we always joke. Like, I saw a thing someone joking about, and it's like they root against the underdogs.
Originally, ESPN assigned Pam Ward, Lena Robinson, and Angel Gray to call the Indiana Fever playoff game, but their clear favoritism caused outrage. Fans pointed out moments where these announcers spoke as if they were part of the Aces, saying things like "we" and "us," which crossed the line from commentary into cheerleading.
We now have Ryan Ruocco. You bet. I love when Ryan Ruocco do that. You bet. We got Ryan Ruocco, Rebecca Lobo, and Holly Rowe announcing the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces game. Now, last game, we had this other group, this Pam Ward group, where they were literally saying "we" for the Las Vegas Aces. Oh, we've got to do this. Oh, we made it. Like, what do you mean we? What do you mean we?
Even Skip Bayless stepped into the controversy, questioning the credibility of information being shared around Caitlin Clark and the Fever. He noted how strange and inconsistent the narratives were, fueling suspicions that Clark and her team were being unfairly portrayed by voices in the media.
Now, with that being said, Skip Bayless originally wasn't a fan of Caitlin Clark in the beginning when he was on Undisputed. He's kind of gone rants about her and stuff. But slowly but surely, as soon as Caitlin Clark came into the WE looking like Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Skip Bayless quickly and swiftly changed his tune on a young superstar.
Becky Hammon also expressed frustration about officiating and league professionalism, making comparisons to the NBA. She highlighted how a lack of accountability from leadership and officials was damaging the integrity of games, which echoed the larger frustration fans had toward biased commentary humiliating Caitlin Clark and her Fever team.
Becky Hammon went off on Kathy Engelbert for the lack of good officials in this league. Talking about there would be fights, all types of stuff had this been in the NBA. Now, you got to remember, Becky Hammon worked in the NBA under the legendary, one of the GOATs, Greg Popovich. That is who she learned from. So she's seen NBA physicality. She's seen that era where it was physical as well.
Critics pointed out that when Caitlin Clark is not involved, the WNBA struggles to attract attention, and instead, embarrassing stories dominate headlines. The silence from ESPN and other outlets about fair coverage further exposed the double standard, showing how much Clark's presence impacts the narrative.
I'll give Kat Engelbert credit. It was brilliant to put a WNBA team in the city of rainbows. But outside of those two teams, the rest of the league is struggling. Well, Casey, that's not true. The Atlanta Dreamers sold out their home games against the Felines.
After fans voiced outrage, ESPN quickly reshuffled its broadcast teams, Pam Ward, Lena Robinson, and Angel Gray were moved away from Indiana Fever games and reassigned to other matchups, signaling that the network had recognized just how damaging their biased commentary had been.
So they're no longer involved in this game right here. They are, in fact, now going to be they're going to be on a game that does not have the Indiana Fever involved, which is a good thing to see. Which is a good thing because, in my opinion, they were absolutely horrendous.
ESPN replaced the original group with Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo, and Holly Rowe, a team seen as more balanced and professional. This move was widely praised by Fever supporters who felt that at last Caitlin Clark would be given fair treatment during such a crucial playoff stretch.
That's not how it's supposed to go at all. So I think this was the right move made by ESPN. And I think there's other shows that need to be looked at too. While we're at it, since we in this mood, since we feeling all groovy and like making adjustments, I think there's some other people that need to be looked at too.
The controversy also sparked deeper questions about transparency in league coverage. Analysts like Skip Bayless highlighted how rules and injury updates around Caitlin Clark had been inconsistent, suggesting ESPN's credibility was already under fire before the announcer switch.
Now, when they did that, that ruled out any eligibility, from my understanding, from her to play. Now, I did some research on that little loophole thing. We can't verify that thing even exists. So Scott Agnes is right about that. So I kudos to him figuring that out. I did some research with my team too, trying to fact check that thing, and we can't fact check it. But I can't say that it's neat. I can't say that it's not a rule either, though. We just can't figure out where it's at. You know what I'm saying? To definitively say that that is an actual rule. Now, with that being said, Skip Bayless opens up about this whole situation with Caitlin Clark being out.
While ESPN was addressing the commentator issue, voices like Becky Hammon pointed to bigger systemic problems. She argued that the lack of officiating standards and accountability was unacceptable, echoing why fans were furious about biased commentary. Both cases showed ESPN and the league failing to protect Caitlin Clark and the Fever.
Becky Hammon is bombing on Kathy Engelbert. Talking about there would be fights, all types of stuff had this been in the NBA. Now you got to remember, Becky Hammon worked in the NBA under the legendary, one of the GOATs, Greg Popovich. That is who she learned from. So she's seen NBA physicality. She's seen that era where it was physical as well.
Even ratings data supported ESPN's decision to act. Playoff games without Caitlin Clark saw viewership drop sharply, proving her impact was undeniable. By firing biased commentators, ESPN hoped to rebuild trust with fans who believed Clark's importance was being minimized on purpose.
They're doing so fine that ratings for the first round were down compared to last year. But in fairness to the WNBA, ratings for the first round of the playoffs were actually pretty good. According to ESPN, they averaged 943,000 viewers. During the regular season, the WNBA averaged 969,000, which means, as predicted here on the channel, there are fewer people watching pretend basketball during the chase for the Platinum Pooper than were watching during the regular season.
The controversy revealed how certain analysts, like Carolyn Peck, have been openly hostile toward Caitlin Clark. Fans accused ESPN of letting such bias air unchecked, and many believe this long-standing disrespect was what forced the network into finally making personnel changes.
Carolyn Peck been a Caitlin Clark hater ever since before Caitlin Clark even made it. Carolyn Peck was hating. That's a fact. That's a fact. Everybody knows that Carolyn Peck was acting like a hater, being biased, disrespecting Caitlin Clark all through her rookie year. Like, come on, man. Carolyn Peck was one of the you got Monica McNutt, who said she was trying to give Angel Reese the damn rookie of the year at one point because of a plus minus.
Monica McNutt and Carolyn Peck were repeatedly called out as Caitlin Clark haters, with viewers pointing to examples where they downplayed her achievements or shifted praise to others. For fans, ESPN's reaction was only a small step in addressing what they saw as a deeper culture of bias against Clark.
She kind of a hater, bro. Let's keep it real. Monica McNutt was a Caitlin Clark hater. We know that. We know that. She was a hater. But we know for a fact 100%. Monica McNutt tries to clean it up sometimes. She tries to clean it up. This WNBA Countdown show, they definitely got some haters up there. Monica McNutt be hating. You got Carolyn Peck, who is by far just flat out 100% a Caitlin Clark hater. We all know that. We all know that.
Skip Bayless questioned why Caitlin Clark wasn't playing, stressing that if she were a male athlete in the NBA, the entire sports world would be demanding answers. His comments highlighted the double standard in coverage and added fuel to claims that ESPN and the league weren't protecting Clark.
If Caitlin Clark were a he right now, playing in the NBA, the world would be going crazy over, hey, Caitlin, why aren't you playing?
Becky Hammon emphasized that unchecked physicality in games could lead to dangerous situations, and she blamed leadership for ignoring it. Her criticism reflected the same frustration fans had toward ESPN commentators, a failure to ensure fairness and safety for one of the league's biggest stars, Caitlin Clark.
I'm just trying to paraphrase what you said. With this series going to Indianapolis, is there like a level of concern about that maybe escalating, or how do you feel just about the referee's ability to keep that under?
Well, most of my assistants come from the NBA, and they're like, this would not fly in the NBA. This level of physicality would not fly in the NBA. There'd be fights.
The biggest indictment of ESPN and the WNBA came when media interest dropped dramatically in Clark's absence. Without her, storylines faded and ratings plunged, proving that biased coverage and disrespect not only humiliated Clark, but also damaged the league's credibility with fans nationwide.
No one is talking about it, at least when compared to last year and earlier this season. When Caitlin Clark is playing, the WNBA is a major topic in the mainstream media. There are storylines every week, controversy, drama. When Caitlin Clark is not playing, the biggest story in the WNBA is generous fans donating dildos.
No matter what, this season's been a success for the Fever, regardless of what people online want to say. At least win, lose, or draw, the announcing will be unbiased and called 50-50 down the middle. You don't think this suddenly hot Fever team could use Caitlin? I thought they had a shot to win it all with her healthy.
No matter what, this season's been a success for the Fever. Regardless of what people online want to say and what they think, it has been a success for the Fever. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, no matter what this year.
What they did last game was terrible. So, hey, at least we'll have win, lose, or draw. The announcing will be unbiased. It'll be good. You know, Ryan Ruocco's great. And we can just do our thing, play the game, have it be called 50-50 down the middle, and not have to hear.
Yep.
You don't think this suddenly hot Fever team could use Caitlin? I thought they had a shot to win it all with her obviously healthy.
I'm not concerned because I know we'll keep our composure, but I don't understand why this keeps happening. When Caitlin Clark is not playing, the biggest story in the WNBA is fans already losing interest.
It is literally prison basketball in the W. Keep cooking, Becky.
When Caitlin Clark is playing, the WNBA is a major topic in the mainstream media. There are storylines every week, controversy, drama. When Caitlin Clark is not playing, the biggest story in the WNBA is generous fans donating dildos.
This story is only getting wilder. What do you think about ESPN's move? Drop your thoughts and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to keep the conversation going.